I'm Anil Kumar, and here is question number 4 of our quiz on trigonometry. For cosecant x equals to negative 17 over 8, where x is between 0 and 2 pi, in which quadrant is it possible for x to terminate? Determine other primary trigonometric ratios for x and evaluate x in radians to 2 decimal places. You can pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestion. Now let's begin by understanding where should it terminate. So let's look into the coordinate plane itself. Cosecant is negative. We know that all are positive here. Sine is positive, tan is positive in quadrant 3, and cos is positive in quadrant 4. Cosecant is reciprocal of sine, therefore it is negative in these two quadrants, correct? So, in which quadrants is it possible for x to terminate? So the answer is the quadrants are quadrant 3 and, let me write quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. So that's the first answer. Now the next question is determine the other primary trigonometric ratios. So to find the other primary trigonometric ratios, what should we do? We can actually construct this triangle. So let's make this triangle here. So we'll consider triangle to be in 1. So all values we'll consider positive for the time being, right? Since we know it could be in these two triangles, we know which are negative and which are positive. Cosecant is 1 over sine. That means that is the hypotenuse and this is the opposite side for the angle x. So if this is the angle x, hypotenuse is 17 and the opposite side is 8. So let's find the adjacent side, which is going to be 17 square. So let's do it here. This side will be square root of 17 square minus 8 square, right? So let's use the calculator to find this answer. So we have square root of 17 square minus 8 square, which is equal to 15. So this side is 15 for us. Now since we know this side, it's very easy to calculate all the trigonometric ratios. But what is kind of important to understand is that we are working in two different quadrants, right? So let's just divide this page into two parts, right? And then what I will do here is that I'll write down this represents quadrant 3 and this represents quadrant 4 for us to write all the values, correct? And now we will fill in all the values. Starting with sine, it says determine the other primary trigonometric ratios. That means sine of x, right? Sine of x, cos of x, and tan of x. That is what we need to fill, right? So first thing is in quadrant 4, these are negative values and this one is positive. For sine, it is opposite, right? So it is 8 over 17. For cos, it is adjacent, so it is 15 over 17. For tan, it is 8 over 15, right? So positive value, correct? So we get our answers. In quadrant 4, sine x will be what? Let us see. Sine, cos, and tan. Well, the values remain same, the signs will change. In quadrant 4, sine is still negative, so we get 8 over 17, but cos is positive, 15 over 17, tan is negative, 8 over 15. So that is how you can write down all your ratios. But don't forget to mention both quadrants. Now the last part is evaluate x in radians to 2 decimal places. So let us find the related acute angle first, right? So we can say since this is cosecant, we can write this as sine x equals to, I should say, well, let's write sine x equals to minus 8 over 17. But we'll find the angle, acute angle, right? So we can say alpha, the acute angle, will be sine inverse of 8 over 17, right? So let's use this calculator to find. So shift inverse of sine within bracket 8 divided by 17 bracket close equals to, we get the angle as 0.489957. Okay, that's fine. Now, there are two angles, right? So the two angles which we are talking about are one in this quadrant, the other one here, correct? So what are these values? We say x is equal to, this angle is pi plus alpha, right, which is 0.4899, right? So let's add pi to this. So you say plus shift, second function is pi for me, is equal to, that gives me the value of 3.6315, and we need to round this to 2 decimal places, so we can write this as 3.63 radians, right? So that is the first angle. The other value is, let me call that as x2. Let's say this is the first angle. The other one will be 2 pi minus this, right? So 2 pi minus that. Let me write here 2 pi minus 0.489, right? So we do 2 pi, which is 2 times shift pi minus 0.4899. That gives us 5.79. So I'm just rounding straight to 2 decimal places, right? So that is how you can get the answer for this particular question, correct? So remember, you have to write both the angles. So this is the first angle, pi plus acute angle alpha, and that is the second angle, right? 2 pi minus alpha, where this is alpha for us. I hope with this you understand clearly how to answer such questions. Have a good look at it. Thank you and all the best.